Hi, I'm Betsy Alpert, and I'm one of the school counselors here at Walton High School, and welcome to the freshman class information meeting. This was delivered on Wednesday, August 18th to all the freshman homeroom classes, and this recording is going to be used for any student who was absent on August 18th or any student who just wants to review this information. So let's go over some important information before we actually begin the presentation. The first one is, who is your school counselor? So we have 6 school counselors here at Walton High School. We divide the students up by their last names. And so if your last name is A through CH, you have Mrs. Cleary as your counselor. If you have Mrs. Alpert, your last name is CI through G. Again, that's me. Mrs. Dunham is last names H through K. Mrs. Wofford serves students' last names L through N. Mrs. Harwood serves students O through SL, and Mrs. Fay serves students SM through Z. There's 2 other women who work in the counseling office. The first one is Mrs. Gross. She is our college advisor. No, you won't really use her too much as a freshman or even as a sophomore for college advice, but you will certainly use her junior and senior year. She also sets up the college visits and she's over all of our scholarships as well. But she also is in charge of the volunteer service hours, which we will go over that in a few minutes, and how to keep track of your volunteer service hours. And then we also have Mrs. Shrink in the counseling office. She is our registrar, and she is the one who keeps track of all of your records, transcripts, et cetera, et cetera. Also, it's really important that you guys know that we do have a very updated school counseling website. We keep it up to date pretty much on a daily basis with new information. It is www.waltonhighcounseling.com. You can see there's a QR code right there that will get you to our website. And you also can follow us on social media. We do have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, and we push out a lot of extra information that's not necessarily displayed on our counseling website through one of those platforms, all the same. So if you prefer Facebook, great. You don't need to follow us on all 3 because we put up the same information regardless on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And lastly, we just want to make sure that you guys do receive the PTSA e-blast that comes out once a week, typically on Sunday afternoons, early Sunday evenings from our PTSA. And that just has a lot of really important information about Walton, upcoming auditions for a musical or an information meeting about joining lacrosse, things that don't necessarily have to do with the counseling department. It's just a good way to stay in the know for the PTSA and for events that are happening at Walton. So let's move on and let's talk about a couple of things that we are doing this semester. And that we are doing is in 9th grade and things that you should be aware for your 9th grade year. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about Naviance. And Naviance is a delivery system that we use for colleges and careers. It's a great search engine. It's a way for us to communicate with colleges. But we also do Naviance. We also use Naviance as a way for you all to keep track with your service hours if you choose to do community service. And so we want to walk through a little bit of what Naviance looks like, and that you guys can also sign up for service hours this way as well. So how do you get to Naviance? The first thing that you do is you go to waltonhigh.org. That is not the counseling website, that is the Walton High School website. So again, you go to waltonhigh.org, and then on the homepage of the waltonhigh.org, you'll see there is a diploma icon that's at the top right-hand side. If you click on that diploma icon, that is the Naviance icon. That will take you directly into Naviance, and you won't have to log in if you're using a computer here at Walton. If you're at home and you want to log into Naviance, then you would log in using your Microsoft 365 username and password. That's the same thing that you use when you are logging into any computer here at Walton. If you don't know what your Microsoft 365 username or password is, go to the Media Center and they will be happy to help you reset it or look it up for you. Once you log into Naviance, and before we even talk about logging into Naviance, what does Naviance actually do? So kind of like what I said before, it's a great search engine for colleges, for careers as well. It's a way for you to start building up a resume. So everything that you're doing your ninth grade year, you can put it into the resume builder. So by the time you're a junior or senior and start really looking to apply to colleges and for scholarships, you'll have a resume that's already built. It's a way that you can communicate with your counselor. We do send out a lot of email communications through Naviance. It's a scholarship search engine. And again, it is a way for you to record service hours. So with the service hours, that is going to be done through something called X2Vol. That is a program that you get to through Naviance, and the X2Vol is how you actually record your service hours. So how do you get to X2Vol? So the first thing is, like I said, you log into Naviance, and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see this bluish purplish rectangle that says X2Vol. So you're going to click on X2Vol link. And then your information has already been pre-populated. Okay, so where it says last name, your last name should be in, and the ORG identifier should have your student ID number as well. One thing that is really important to know about logging in your service hours is that you have to make sure that you do it the same school year, that you log in with that information during the same school year. So for example, if you do a 20-hour service project this year as a ninth grader, and then you don't log in into the X2Vol system, and then junior year, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I did this 20-hour project my ninth grade year. Unfortunately, that doesn't count. And so you will need to make sure that you log in everything the school year that you do it. In addition, nothing counts until August 1st of 2021. So even if you did volunteer service hours over the summer or as an eighth grader, unfortunately, nothing begins until August 1st. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, like I said, when you first log into Naviance, you'll see the X2Vol. You click on X2Vol and it will bring you up to this screen. Double check and make sure that your last name and your student ID are correct. And then the next thing that will come up is your student registration. Again, it should already be pre-populated for you. The one thing that we do want you to do is to add your personal email address down at the bottom. The reason why we say your personal email address, and that means like your Gmail, your Yahoo, your Hotmail account. We don't want you to put your Cobb County email. And the reason why is because if X2Vol does any type of communication, then it will be sent through X2Vol, which is not associated with Cobb County school systems. And so therefore you would not receive an email from X2Vol, since your Cobb County email only receives emails to and from people from who are within Cobb County. So again, please put your personal email and then click proceed. The next section should come up looking like this. Don't worry about that. Please skip that section. And then that takes you to the next section where it's going to ask you to create an account password. So go ahead and create any password that you want. It does not have to be your 365, your Microsoft 365 screen, but it certainly can. There's nothing wrong with that. So go ahead and you can create any password that you want. Then you leave the event registration blank. And then at the very bottom, you'll see there's going to be 2 check boxes, and we need you to check those boxes. I understand that my school may access in my community service progress. Okay, please check that box. And then the other one, I understand and accept the site policies regarding privacy and security. So go ahead and check that box too, please. Once you've done that, then you're going to complete the registration, and voila, you are now a registered X2Vol student. So when you're going to start logging in your community service hours is when you log into X2Vol. Again, you do Naviance first, then you go to X2Vol. You're going to click on opportunities and projects. You can see it's right up here. I'm circling it. Then you're going to click on my activity log. And then you're going to click on create new right here. You're going to create what's called a personal project. And so a personal project is something, any type of community service that you have done. It doesn't have to be the like this big old project where you spend 50 hours working on something. It can be as simple as, hey, my community project or my personal project was tutoring a kid at Mount Bethel Elementary School, and I did it for 10 hours during the semester or something like that. That's totally fine. That's what a personal project can be. That's just an example. Or you volunteered at a soup kitchen and you served Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner or something like that at a soup kitchen. That's fine as well. So we want you to be as detailed as possible with your project description. It can be a reoccurring project. That means like if you go to Mount Bethel every Wednesday after school and you tutor a kid for 2 hours in the ASP program, and it's a reoccurring event, you can do it that way as well. The most important thing is that you need to make sure you enter the site supervisor's email address under activity contact. That is because your site supervisor has to verify that you actually did the project that you say that you did, and you did it for the hours as well. So just remember that site supervisor is really important, that you get that information in correctly. So after you've done that, then you can see that there is a little bit more information that you should be filling out as well. You can click on the box to verify that your information is truthful. And the big thing is with community service hours, it is not required to graduate. So we do not at Walton require anybody to do community service hours. However, if you want to earn what's called a community service graduation cord to wear at graduation, you need to have 180 community service hours by the time you are a senior, by the time you graduate. So this is a great way to start building up those community service hours so that you can earn that graduation cord. And so that also, it's just a great thing to be doing community service, and also something you can put on your resume, college applications, scholarship applications, etc. You can also view your service hours in X2Vol. So you can see that there's a progress. There's like a little pie chart down here that shows you your progress. If you click on history, it tells you how much you have already done. And if you have a certain goal that you want to accomplish by the end of your freshman year, it helps you kind of reach that goal. And lastly, you can also download the X2Vol app on your phone. And so once you've registered and logged in on the desktop version, which hopefully you have, either when we were in the computer labs for web on August 18th, or if you're following along at home, once you have registered on the desktop version, then you can download the app, and then you can just keep up with your community service hours this way. So pretty easy. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the counseling office and what we in the counseling office can do for you during your freshman year and during your high school career. So what do we do in the counseling office? We help you out with any academic needs that you have, whether it's your transcript, whether it's your schedule, or you're struggling in a class. Come and talk to your counselor about your academic needs. We look at career exploration. We look at colleges, your post-secondary plans, what you plan to do after high school. We look at also any type of personal and social situation. So you're having a rough day, you're feeling anxious, you got in a fight with your friends, you just need somebody to talk to. That's what we are here for in the counseling office. And you can absolutely do what's called a self-referral, like reaching out to your counselor. Hey, I need to see you for 5 minutes about that. Absolutely. Sometimes we receive emails or phone calls from the administrators, from teachers, from parents who say, hey, I think you need to speak with so-and-so because of XYZ. So we do referrals either way. How can you come and actually speak with your counselor? So the main way that we encourage our students to come see us is during lunch. And you don't need an appointment to come see your counselor. You can just come in during your lunch period, and as long as your counselor is available, then she will speak with you. And if she's not available, then she might say, okay, I can't see you right now because I have a meeting in 5 minutes, but let's schedule an appointment for later on today at this time, or first thing tomorrow morning, something like that. We also, if you want to email us and set up an appointment beforehand, absolutely, that works as well. If you need to see your counselor and it is an emergency, then absolutely, come on in to the counseling office. We are located right by the media center on the second floor, on the main floor of the school. If it's an emergency and your counselor is not available, then you can see one of the other counselors. We have 6 of us here, and we do cover for each other when somebody is not available. So things to know about talking to your counselor. We want to make sure that everybody is safe. Want to make sure that nobody's being bullied or harassed here at the school. If there's a crisis, then we will obviously see you at any time. And a crisis could be any life-threatening situation. something that has really made you upset and that you need to see somebody immediately, you can always tell your teacher, and your teacher will bring you up to the counseling office or send you up to the counseling office as well. And the main thing that we want you guys to understand is that we as your counselors, we maintain your confidentiality. So what that means is that we say, okay, you can tell us whatever you want to in the counseling office. And the only time that we have to call a parent or call somebody else and break that confidentiality, there's 3 reasons. First one is if you are threatening to harm yourself or you want to harm yourself. Second one, if somebody is harming you. And the third one is if somebody is harming somebody else. Then that's when we have to break confidentiality. The law mandates that we are what we're called mandated reporters. By law, anybody in the school who knows that you want to hurt yourself or somebody's hurting you, or that you know somebody's hurting somebody else, we are mandated by the law to report that to either your parents or authorities or somebody. But other than that, we absolutely will maintain confidentiality in our office. Let's talk a little bit more about earning credits in high school. This is different from when you were in middle school and you were earning credits in middle school. So in high school, each class is typically a full year class. So you guys are in 9th grade, you guys have 9th grade literature. So it's broken up into 2 semesters. 9th grade lit part A is in the fall, 9th grade lit part B is in the spring. You will have a final exam for the fall semester and another final exam for the spring semester. After you take your final exam, you will have a final grade. It gets posted on your transcript and you have the opportunity of earning a half a credit for that class. So by the end of the school year, you earn a half a credit for part A in the fall, half a credit for part B in the spring. So you have 1 full credit by the end of the school year. If you're taking a semester class, health, personal fitness, art, team sports, any type of semester class, then you take the semester class in the fall, and the spring you take a separate semester class. So not every single class is a full year class, but almost all of them are, and especially academic classes, academic meaning your English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language. Those are academic classes, and those typically are full year classes. A lot of the electives are also full year: band, chorus, orchestra, business, the intro to graphic arts. Typically those are as well. And there are some semester classes, but again, you need to earn half credit for part A in the fall, half credit for part B in the spring, or you earn half credit just for whatever semester you take that semester elective for. The big thing is that you all should be aware of is that in order to be promoted to be a sophomore for next school year, you need to earn 5 credits. Of those 5 credits, 1 must be English, 9th grade literature, 1 credit must be in math, and 1 must be in science, plus 2 additional credits. So if you haven't met those requirements by the time you are a sophomore, you will be retained in a 9th grade homeroom again. You need to have a total of 23 credits to graduate, and we work on plans with you all to make sure that you meet those graduation requirements and that you meet those grade promotion requirements. So what is a grade point average? That's, again, something new from high school that you didn't have in middle school. So like I said, at the end of every semester, you receive your grade: a 95 in 9th grade lit, an 87 in algebra 1, 91 in world geography, whatever the classes are that you take. So your grades then translate into A, B, C, Ds, and Fs. You can see our grading scale. That is the Cobb County grading scale. And then you can also see that there are points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, etc., that are associated with the alpha grades, with the A, B, C, D, F. So what that means is if you earn an A in your 9th grade literature class in the fall, you get a 92% in the fall. Then that A is given 4 points. And we do this with all of your classes. So you can get 4 points for your English class, 3 points for your math class if you got a B, 3 points for your world geography class, for your social studies, for a B, 4 points for your physics class if you earned an A in the physics class, et cetera, et cetera. And we take those points and we average them so that you get anything from a 4.0 down to whatever. So if you get all A's in your classes this semester, you'll have a 4.0. If you get A's and B's, it could be like a 3.5, a 3.7. If you get some C's and D's, it could be like a 2.1. The point is, the closer it is to a 4.0, the closer, or the more, the better essentially that you have done grade-wise in the semester. We do give quality points added to honors classes and to AP classes because they are more rigorous. So for example, if you are taking honors 9th grade lit this semester and you get an A in that class, instead of that A being worth 4 points, it actually is worth 4.5 points, or a B would be worth 3.5 points, a C would be worth 2.5 points, etc. If you are taking an AP class, a lot of freshmen take AP Human Geography, for example, an A is worth 5 points. You get 1 quality point added into your GPA. So you get a 95 in your AP Human Geography this semester, then that A is calculated as a 5 instead of a 4. A B is worth 4 points instead of 3 points, et cetera, et cetera. So it is possible for you to get a GPA that is higher than a 4.0, just depending on how many honors and AP classes you take. Some of you guys might have earned credits for middle school classes, like maybe you took Spanish 1 in middle school, or you took Algebra 1 in middle school. Those grades do not calculate into your high school GPA. You get those credits and they are on your transcript, but the grades themselves are not calculated into your GPA. That is a Cobb County mandate. Actually, I think it might be a state of Georgia mandate. Some of you might have done a Cobb virtual class over the summer. I know we had several freshmen who took health and personal fitness over the summer. Technically, you weren't in 9th grade, but you still get credit for those classes. And for classification purposes, those Cobb virtual classes are calculated into your GPA. It's the classes you took in middle school that are not calculated. If you have any questions about that, please talk to your counselor, make an appointment to see her or shoot her an email. How can you be successful in high school? So lots of students come in from middle school, they never have to study for anything, and then boom, they hit Walton and oh my gosh, wow, this is really hard, I'm so overwhelmed and whatnot. So to be successful in high school, we suggest that you study every night. We really do. We don't want you to be cramming for your tests or quizzes the night before or the morning of. We don't want you to procrastinate and put off doing papers, projects, things like that until the last minute. So please get into the habit of studying nightly, working towards your goals and finishing, projects and quizzes, projects and like papers and whatnot early. We want you to make sure you keep up with your homework every night and review your class notes so that you are prepared for the next day. If you start to struggle, absolutely 100%, please talk to your teachers and let them know, hey, I'm really struggling. Hey, I don't understand this concept in class. Can you please go over it again? Your teachers are here to help you. Your teachers want you to be successful, but your teachers cannot help you if they don't know that you are struggling. So talk to your teacher after class, go in before school, raise your hand in class and say, hey, can you please go over that again? I didn't quite get it. I guarantee 5 other kids in your class probably don't get it either. So we have Web Wednesdays now. And so we want you to use those wisely. We want you to sign up for extra help when you need extra help for those web days. Also, teachers have been asked to have tutoring sessions twice a week, one day before school and one day after school. So if you do need help, then your teachers should be available in addition to those Web Wednesdays. And then lastly, we want you to make sure that you stay organized. Use your Walton agenda, use a calendar, whatever, an app on your phone, anything like that to keep you organized so that you know when you have homework assignments that are due or when you have projects, upcoming quizzes and tests. It's very hard to keep up to date with 6 classes if you're not doing something to write down when everything is due. If you need an agenda, come to the counseling office. We have some extra ones here. All right, so your transcripts. So like I said before, your grades get posted on your transcript, and your transcript is a record of all the classes that you took in high school. Again, some classes from middle school might be on there if they were high school classes. It is a record of the classes that you took, when you took them, like what year and semester, your grades that you earned in those classes, and it also has your GPA listed on there as well. Typically, you'll get a copy of your unofficial transcript at the beginning of each semester, and that is for you to review and make sure there's no mistakes on there. It's also for your teachers to review to make sure you're in the proper classes and that you've met the prerequisites for the classes that you should be in. One thing that you need to make sure that you understand is if you fail a class and you have to retake that credit, for example, you fail Physics A this semester and you need to retake Physics Part A, then that retake class or that redo class, whatever you want to call it, unfortunately, it doesn't replace your previous physics failing class. It goes on in addition to that class. So remember, the transcript is a record of everything that you took, okay? So just keep in mind again that your original failing grade stays on your transcript. We get a lot of questions about being eligible to play sports and participate in sports. And so Georgia dictates that in order for students to participate in spring sports, since you're a ninth grader, you need to have 2.5 credits or passing 5 out of your 6 classes from the fall semester. Okay, so if you're planning to run track or to play soccer, make sure that you are eligible and that you will pass 5 out of 6 of your classes to earn that 2.5 credits. For next year as sophomores, if you want to participate in a spring sport, or excuse me, in a fall sport, then in your spring semester, you would again need to have 2.5 credits and a total of 5 credits you have to have earned by the time you are in 10th grade. If you have any questions about that, ask one of your counselors or we can direct you to our athletic director. So spring semester schedules, those should be coming out sometime later on in the fall semester. I know it's kind of hard to believe that we're talking about spring semesters right now, but what that means is that you will be able to sign up for new electives for the spring semester, especially if you are in a 1 semester class like art right now. Art is just 1 semester. So for the spring semester, you would need to sign up for a different elective. It could be drawing, it could be team sports, it could be health, it could be personal fitness, whatever you want to take. In addition, if you are taking a class and you feel like, whoa, this class is just way too challenging and I need to drop down a level, you're in honors 9th grade lit and you are struggling, and you and your teacher feel like, hey, I need to drop down to on level 9th grade lit, you'll have that opportunity to do that in the spring as well. Just make sure that you keep up with the deadlines, and more information will be coming out about that sometime in late October. When we do change schedules in the counseling office, we have really 3 reasons why that, or why we would, 3 or 4 reasons why we would change schedules. The first one is you haven't met the prerequisites for the course. So for example, is we stick you in Spanish 2, but you never took Spanish 1, you haven't met the prerequisite for that course. So yes, we would change your schedule. The second one is the student does not meet the grade placement requirement of the course. So you were put in AP biology next year, but you passed physics with a 72. We would never do something like that because that wouldn't be an appropriate placement. The next one is you already have credit for the course. So let's say you took personal fitness over the summer through COP Virtual Academy, and we accidentally put you in personal fitness here at Walton. Of course, we're going to change your schedule because you can't have a duplicate credit. And then lastly, if you were placed in an inappropriate level, if your teacher made a mistake and put you in an honors level when you needed to be an on level or something like that, then we would make that change for you. The big thing to know is about the waiver deadline. You cannot change electives once school starts, and you cannot change levels after that waiver deadline. That's so important that you guys understand that, because we base our master schedule and hire teachers based on what you all choose to do, what you all choose to take and sign up for. And so if we have 2,800 students changing levels left and right and trying to drop their electives, that's going to screw up the master schedule, and it's also going to screw up what teachers we needed to hire for what classes. Whoops. All right, so registration for 10th grade, that's going to be coming up in March. And so what will happen is that your teachers your academic teachers, again, that's English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language, they're going to place you in the appropriate level for next year. So you're in 9th grade lit, they'll place you in world lit. You're in algebra 1, they'll place you in geometry. If you want to wait up a level, if you feel like, hey, I rocked it out in 9th grade lit and I feel like I can handle honors world lit, you can sign a waiver, and your parents sign a waiver saying that you want to waive up a level. Same thing if you want to waive down a level. Let's say that you're in honors 9th grade lit, your teacher puts you in honors world lit for 10th grade, and you feel like, hey, that's just going to be too challenging for me. You can sign a waiver saying that you would prefer to be dropped down a level, and that's fine. You guys will also be able to register for your electives. And as sophomores, there's many more electives that you guys can choose from than when you were a freshman. So just keep that in mind. And let's move on. We are going to have something called 9th grade advisement. So that will take place sometime in the spring, and we will help you create what's called your 4-year plan this spring. So it's called an individual graduation plan, something that we do in Naviance, and we will certainly walk you guys through that process. And so it's just a tentative plan of the required classes that you'll need to take, and just kind of showcase some of the classes that we offer for our upperclassmen as well. Oh, we have these science classes. We have anatomy and forensic science and physical science and astronomy and whatnot, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what classes you can take in the future. And again, we want to make sure that everybody meets that 23 required credits to graduate on time, and that we also can work on making sure that you meet the required credits that take to get you to the next grade, to sophomore, to junior, et cetera, et cetera. All right, we want to make sure that you guys get involved with Walton as well. We have so many sports clubs, community activities, community service. It doesn't necessarily have to be here at Walton. It can be you get really involved with your church or synagogue, or you're part of like Boy Scouts and you're working towards your Eagle Scout, or you work and you're part of that community, or you participate in rowing, and that's not necessarily here at Walton, but it still is some type of club or extracurricular activity. So we want to make sure that you guys sign up and are involved. And then also want to make sure that you guys understand that the PSAT is coming up on October 13th. So 9th graders can take the PSAT. It's a great way for you guys to get practice for real SAT that you'll be taking probably as a junior and senior. And the PSAT will give you a big report that comes back that showcases, like, here are your strengths, here are your weaknesses, and here's what you guys should be studying and practicing for so you can be more successful for the PSAT. It is $18 to take the PSAT as a 9th grader, and you pay through My Payments Plus. And the deadline is to sign up, I want to say, is on September 14th, on Tuesday, September 14th. So please make sure you sign up for the PSAT if you want to take it. Oh, there you go. Like I said, it's on October 13th, and you register through My Payments Plus. Really, the last thing that we want to say is that 9th grade matters. We want you to do well. We want you to get good study habits, and we want you to earn good grades. We want you to get involved with any activity that you want to. And we want you to make new friends and just have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 9th grade experience. And whatever we can do in the counseling office to help you, we are here for you guys. We want the best for you. So please don't hesitate to ask us any questions. Contact your counselors, have communications with your teachers, ask for extra help, stay organized, stay on top of your assignments, get into that habit, to get into the study habits every night. And we thank you so much for your time, and we hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year.